Yo, I got a dope B-boy. He's a beast from the all the way from Houston, Texas. I got B-boy, beast, boogie. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, y'all? What's going down? Glad to be here. Appreciate you bringing me on.
Oh, heck yeah, I appreciate it so much. And for the viewers and the people that know you, can you tell me about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Well, my name's Anthony Silva. My b-boy name's Beast Boogie. I've been dancing for 28 years. I've been traveling the world, competing, performing, and teaching dance. I'm based out of Houston, Texas, born and raised here. And I've represented two crews, Vicious Germs crew earlier in my years and Have a Coro crew recently. And those are two crews that are basically from Houston, Texas, and that I've grown up with. So, and then, yeah, man, I've done a lot through my time with performing and teaching. But now I do a lot of content creating. Obviously, I do a lot of like videos and tutorials and still doing a lot of different things, hosting events. I'm
Yeah.
with an organization called Big Girl City right now. I'm the only male member in there, but but it's great what we're doing, and it's people I grew up with as well. Actually, my sister's a part of it, so a lot
Oh,
going on.
nice.
Yeah, that's basically sums up
Okay.
a little bit of me.
Oh, and I definitely want to get a little deep dive into the your history, your content creating, and other avenues down the road, right? And so, first off, first question on this. So, like, when were you exposed to breaking?
Yeah, so basically, I didn't have any younger siblings. I was the oldest one. I didn't have any siblings at the time, actually. And so I had two older cousins that I would see every couple months on holidays or whatever. And so I was basically doing what they were doing. And they came around and they were doing graffiti. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. But I was an athlete already. I played football, basketball, baseball, everything growing up in my, through elementary and stuff. So basically,
Nice.
I started doing graffiti, and maybe like 2 months later, I saw my cousins at Thanksgiving break, I think, and they were breaking, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
I'm gonna do that because that was way more athletic. It was way more of like my style of stuff of hip hop. So, yeah, 28 years later, here I am still.
Dope, dope. And you guys supposed to through like the party scene, kind of like interact with the you said surroundings.
Well, yeah. So at the beginning, it was just at the beginning, yeah, it was friends. He had friends already. My cousins had friends in their neighborhood that they were breaking or that they got them breaking, and
Okay.
so they were already practicing together. So I would go over there, and that's how I got exposed to seeing that it was a bigger scene. And then they had Battle of the Year like 95, 96 on VHS, and that's what we were watching every day, pretty much. That's how I got exposed to it, and then through time, I started, realizing there was more dancers around Houston and it was growing and stuff like that. So it was definitely, uh, it grew real fast.
Dang, that's dope. Houston Texas Harvard Core Crew definitely has a big history behind the name. That's
Yep.
legendary. Heck yeah, Beast Boogie. Cool, man. What are some of the highlight moments in breaking so far you've been in? You said you've been in 28 years. Is that right?
Yeah, so I mean, I've done a lot with breaking. So I performed pretty much once I was like with my cousins and stuff, there wasn't a lot of competitions going on. So we were doing what we can to just to expose ourselves, and that was a lot of shows, whether it was locally or at school or whatever. So I was actually a performer first, and I think this is why it's helped me with social media stuff. But I was
Mm,
performing my first couple of years before I was actually exposed to like competing. There was maybe like one competition, two competitions here in Houston a year, and there were crew battles, so it wasn't anything that was like where you had to be like fit for it and stuff like that. Besides with the moves, obviously, but it
right.
wasn't anything like it is now. So yeah, so it's just through time, you just get exposed. You expose yourself to different places, and that's how I got started basically with performing. But and then over time you start competing, teaching, and just doing all these different things. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to it, It's a whole journey. It literally is 28 years of nonstop breaking in all these different avenues. So again, it's not just battles. A lot of people just compete right now, but and more than ever, there's way more avenues than just performing, teaching, or competing. There's so many other things like we're doing right now, podcasts and content creating.
Yeah,
Lots of
heck
things you
yeah.
can do, and people creating their own stuff, like your hat, like things like that. Like in
Oh, this is
there, so,
shout out to Mad
yeah,
Action over spin
yeah.
theory or spin control. Sorry. Yeah, spin control. And so
So,
I
yeah,
was
that's my boy too. So I've known him for a long time too. So again, seeing all these people doing different things, it's really dope. But yeah, I danced in the NBA for 10 seasons with the Houston Rockets.
oh
So
wow. Okay.
I actually got to travel with them overseas 3 times to the Philippines, Taiwan, to China. I'm talking about
Nice.
like
Heck yeah.
top of the line. Like it's those are some of my best experiences, like with performing. And just man, so many things went on through those 10 years. At the same time, I was touring with a like a stage show, like it was singing, drumming, dancing, all with like recycled instruments. So it was like a stage
Wow.
show. So at the same time, I was doing the 10 years of the Houston Rockets. Same 10 years I was performing with them. So I had everything set up, teaching gigs, throwing events, going and competing and winning battles and stuff. So, a lot of memories for performing. It would be,
Nice.
doing that. So, and then there's
That
lots of competitions. I mean, I can name so many. If we won them or not, Battle of the Year and IBE, into them all.
Dang, and those are real, high level competitions, the most known out here in the break
Yep.
scene, i.e. about the years,
I've
style
been to the
sessions,
UK
all
champ, obviously freestyle session, a bunch of them, outbreaks. I went to the original outbreak. So there's so many, even evolution back then was a really big one. I mean, there's so many there's so many jams that were highlighted, but yeah, I've been to a lot.
nice. So you done your time, your work, you explored the atmosphere, competing or attending these big jams, right? And so
Yep.
definitely suggest whoever's watching, whoever's listening to attend one of those in close nearby you if you can, because I think that's my first one that's going to freestyle session actually last year, and I've been breaking almost 18 years, right? And I was
Yep.
like, what the heck? Like, I was like, this is wild. Like all the people I seen, like the cast from YouTube or like just people high level out there watching Red Bull Beast,
Yeah.
they're just like right there in the ciphers. Like, is this what I do in my local town? And I was like, I just said what's up to everybody because like I was like, wow, this like I was kind of fanboying.
Yeah,
So
and that's what we used to do
nice.
back then anyways. Like we would travel, and do that, and that's how we got to know everybody. And so it's the same thing now. It's just at a higher level with more people. But my suggestion for
Yeah.
events, if you ever want to come to Texas, there's a jam called B-Boy City and there's a jam called B-Girl City, and both of them are really dope. You're gonna get the raw essence all the time at both of them. B-Boy City has literally been around for 25 years. B-Girl City like 15 plus years. And it was a branch
Yes.
off of B-Boy City was B-Girl City, and now they both developed into the super high level competitions. But anyways, just a suggestion for anybody that may want
Yeah,
to.
definitely out in the Texas scene, Houston
Yeah.
scene. What day of the month usually those events happen?
B-Boy City is usually in September or
Okay.
October. Mostly in September, I think. Sometimes in August, maybe, but mostly and then B-Girl City is in March. So
Okay.
yeah. So they're
Nice.
they're they're split up about 5-6 months apart, actually. So yeah.
Oh, and then even though it says B Girl City, there's competitions for the breakers, competitions for B girls in youth.
Youth, B girls, and B boys. So,
Nice.
and there's always like a freestyle, whether it's house dance or all styles or whatever. There's always an extra competition as well going on. So it's a mixture of everything.
Nice, nice. And that's kind of similar with the B-Boy City that's down in September.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah. B-Boy City is in Austin.
Oh,
Same
dope.
situation. It's like 2-3 days long. It's like a festival pretty much. And then same thing with B-Girl City. It's 3 days long and
Yeah.
with activities going on the whole time, all week, and workshops and just panels, speaking panels, and then of course battles and celebrations after all those things. So it's great. Yeah.
Nasty. That's sick. Because
Yeah.
like those like 3 day events, it means a lot. Because like even though you go there for just the battle, but there's more to it than just the battle. You're
Yeah.
connecting, you're networking, you're talking to people, and getting
Exactly.
exchanging
Exactly.
conversations, and that's how we better our mindset, better our abilities to down the road.
Having a good time because you got to build those memories too and build all those relationships through memories and good and that's it's good to have that, and if you can hold it down for 3 days, then you're doing a great job. And we just had Big Girl City back in March, and it was an amazing time, one of the best times I've had in a while. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And during those events, what does it take to commit to that type of stuff? Are you working just you with the team? I know you said you're the only male in B Girl
Yeah,
City.
so Big Girl City's been around, like I said, for a while, the event itself, but they became an organization maybe 5 to 10 years ago, and yeah, they have about 7, 8 members, besides myself, my sister being one of them, and then Baby Girl, which I grew up with her since we were young, super
Ah,
young actually.
okay.
We worked together, and through the years, and I always through events here in Houston, and I would always add either youth or B-girl battle. Even when it wasn't big, when nobody was doing it, I always added those to my events. And so now
Okay.
it's like it makes sense that I'm working with B-girl City because I had always kind of supported those things as well, you know. And on top of that, we created a battle league. It's called Break City Battle League, and it's
Oh, word.
basically it's a branch off of B-girl City, and it's basically 4 categories. So there's like for youth, there's beginners and advanced, and then for adults, there's elite and legacy. Legacy is going to be 40 and up, ages 40 and up, and basically we do it
Oh,
every
okay.
month. We have it once a month here in Houston, and all the competitors get to build points, and there's prizes every month, and there's a big ending at the end of the
Oh,
year. So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on from that. But yeah, it's definitely something newer for me. Like where I just got into the organization about a year ago, but
okay.
I've known them for a long time. But now this is part of what I've been doing recently as well. So a lot of good stuff
Oh,
going on. Yep.
yeah. A lot of connection, building up the scene, growing. For the people that don't know, how do we get connected to this source?
Yeah, so of course on you can go to Instagram and find just type in B Girl City and that's gonna pop up. There's also bgirlcity.com. And then also if you go to my website, beastboogie.com, you'll see all the information for Big Girl City stuff as well, or Break City. And then the actual Battle League, Break City, again, you'll find that on all the sites or anything that has to do with where Big Girl City is posted. And then of course there's
Nice.
Instagram for that too, which would be Break City Battle League. So many Instagram pages. But I'm sure if you go to one
Yeah.
of them, you'll find the rest of them. That's kind of
Yeah,
how
you're gonna
it
rub a
does.
whole link up to the
Yeah,
others.
it'll all kind of pop up, or you go to one picture and everything's tagged. So, but
Dope.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Dope. If you're out in, the scene, Houston scene or Texas scene, best people to connect to. Yeah.
yeah, Houston, man, Houston is a big hub for dance right now, and in all styles and everything too. I'm talking about from ballet to like choreo for the youth, and all the way up to breaking, house dancing, everything. It's really big here. A lot of people move here, or have moved here over the years from other places, and they still
Wow.
live here and enjoy it. And there's a lot of people that travel here and just to come enjoy our scene because literally there's always something happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really, like I said, it's very diverse. It's very cultural here, all the way down from the music to the food and to the dance. So like it's crazy over here. It's a good place.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I know you mentioned Houston Rockets, you're working with them for 10 years, so a little bit back a little bit. So
Yeah.
how did you get those type of gigs? You're on Houston, you just they're known for your breaking, you knew some connections. How did that
Yeah.
get established?
So luckily for me, I was performing at first, so I did build a lot of connections like that, and people seeing me
Okay.
around town performing at places, and that's how I had built some connections. The Rockets thing, we did one year with them where it was just a couple games that season through somebody we knew and stuff like that, and then maybe like a year or two later, they had auditions for a group called the Launch Crew, and the
Okay.
Launch Crew is just a mixture of like breakers, some like cheerleaders, like stunters, some crazy jump ropers, and then like a bunch of tumblers. And we would just make a big old crazy routine.
Oh wow.
But we auditioned, made it every year pretty much. I became the captain halfway through. For my last 5 years, I was the captain of the team. So, yeah, it was just,
Okay.
the
Dope. Dope.
the connection you build. But yeah, that's how pretty much it happened in the earlier years. It was just everybody seeing you somewhere. Hopefully, you had a business card or you had somewhere they could find you, and that was the easiest way to pick up gigs back then.
Nice. Yeah, the reason I ask is like, it's as a b-boy and try and pursue things, you're almost like an entrepreneur. You're promoting yourself, you're selling yourself, where you got to talk to people and network to get different gigs to get established, right? And
Exactly.
create something for longevity to keep doing this. And I'm trying to figure it out myself. I'm still how do we do this? How do we do this? And so for for the b-boys and breakers trying this long term, like it's not just the competition trying to win every jam, but there's a lot more to it. Like, you're saying content, creating, event planning, and event gigs, helping, teaching, coaching, and stuff like that. And so I
You
think
just gotta
that's
think
really
of it.
cool.
You gotta think of one thing, and that's if you got hurt, what are you gonna do? What else would you be able to do in that moment?
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So that's my best advice. My best one-liner for them would be is that if you got hurt, what would you still be doing with dance? Because you're not gonna just quit unless some people do though. Some people do, and that's why. But for the
Yeah.
most part, if you're not there, there's more avenues than ever right now to promote yourself or to build something. I mean, there's people making dance floors. There's people making online. I just made an online dance course, literally. And so, I mean, there's so many things you can do. You don't even have to physically go teach a class. I mean, or you can do that too. You can open a dance studio, which is not
Yeah.
easy. I'll say that, but it's definitely there's so many things that you can do if you're not able just to compete. But if you can be
Ah,
turned up and do it all, then there's people out there doing that. Like Zeku, he has breaking MIA and he's out there killing it still. And he has people that he's taught that's out there killing it. Like that's how you can do that too. There's lots of avenues. You just have to start somewhere.
nice. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And that's what happened pretty much with me and on social media. There was one year I remember I was like, it was on
Uh-huh.
Instagram. I was like, I'm gonna start taking it a little bit seriously. Like I'm gonna like post at least every day. And maybe for like a year or two, it didn't really. I mean, I was doing it consistently. But then
Yeah.
TikTok came
Yeah.
around, and I had met a friend. His name is Spencer X. He's a beatboxer,
Okay.
and he told me he was like, "Yo, get on TikTok, post every day right now." And he told a bunch of
Mm.
us that. And actually, this is when I was working at Break Free, and so he was telling all of us to do it, and nobody did it except for me. And so I just kept consistent, and trust me, it took me a while. It was about 6 months to
Yeah.
a year before one of my videos hit. And I
Mm.
remember I was going into a class at 10, and I was going to come out at noon, and
Uh-huh.
posted it right before I went in. When I came out at noon, it was already at 1 million views, and it had
Wow.
all these likes. My follows had went up. Yeah, so and that wasn't even my tutorials yet. That was just like some handstand competition or something that I had posted. But I kept consistent, and then I one day I saw Spencer. He was doing this beatbox like tutorial, teaching you how to do it in 4 steps, like
Oh,
and
okay.
give you 4 things to say. So I just basically broke down a flare in 4 steps, and that video hit. And so then I did a backspin. Then I did this. Then I did that. And then they just kept hitting and hitting and hitting. And then they spread it out to my other social medias, to my YouTube, to my Instagram, to my Facebook. And that's pretty much how it happens. But
That's awesome.
the
Oh
two
yeah.
things I could say about social media is one, it's consistency is the key, and that is the truth in that. Like you have to do it every day. You have to. And it doesn't even have to, it's everything doesn't have to be quality every single day. It's not going to happen. There's going to be
Hmm.
failures, but you have to be consistent with it. And you just have like the main thing is just you gotta want to do it, because there's a lot of people that just want something like to hit, and then like once it hits they
Right.
it out, or they don't stay consistent with it. You'd have to like find a niche. Like you have to find a niche, and it doesn't have dancing is not just you making a video of you dancing. Like dancing is you could be speaking about it. You can be giving health tips. You can be doing tutorials. There's things you can do. You got to find what works for you best. And tutorials worked for me, and I stuck with
Nice.
them. And on top of that,
Heck
I
yeah.
was already teaching and doing those things. It's not like I just made up one day, huh? Like, I was doing. If you look where all my tutorials are, they were in dance studios because I was already teaching. And then
Mhm.
so, yeah.
There you
Anyway,
go.
you
No,
gotta you
that's
gotta
sick.
find that. That's the main thing I can say for social media. Find a niche and stay consistent. Like,
Yeah, as a creator content, right? And so you found a niche. I know, like you said, mentioned the flare one that hit like I think on TikTok it was like 20.8 million views today,
yeah,
right? Currently, right? And there's
yeah,
other ones that hit millions in the millions. Yeah, that's wild. And your niche was like I seen it was like one, this move,
yeah,
two, hit
Yeah.
this.
And don't get me
So
wrong, I get the
yeah,
criticism, I get all the stuff, but like, come on, let's be real. Like, nobody's gonna like, people aren't gonna become pros off of those tutorials. Those are just for me to show people, show anybody in the
yeah,
world, not just dancers, that hey, you could possibly do this. These moves are attainable. Like, if you break it down to like real, just bodily movements, putting your hand here, this and that. Like, it's not all crazy aerodynamics. It will become that
hmm
at some. But from the beginning, just to do a six step or to do, those simple things, like it's just you bending over to the ground and moving one leg at a time. Like it's not, and that's what I was doing more than anything. Is
yeah,
just showing people that and giving people that. But don't get me wrong, I've got my lots and lots of love all the time. And people reach out to me and just positive feedback from so many different types of communities as well. It's not just breaking communities that hit me up. So, and then worldwide as well too. There's a lot of different countries where my stuff shows a lot. So yeah,
nice. Speaking of
yeah,
that, with your stuff showing, getting the exposure through content creating, has it opened any doors for you to this day to farther your coaching, your mentor, and all that other avenue?
yeah. Well, of course, I started getting a lot of work, like on social media, where people wanted me to do stuff with the tutorials, but with whatever it was, their product or whatever. But I've, like I said, I just created an online course, and that is
Hmm
something I had never done, which gave me the opportunity to actually be open to doing like online private lessons as well.
Okay.
Because I never really wanted to do those things necessarily. Um, it's nothing against teaching or anything like that. Obviously I spread my knowledge for free on social media, so it's not necessarily that. It's just when I'm performing, I want to be fully into it. When I'm competing, you fully want, especially now, you have to be fully into it and things
Yes.
like that. So if I'm not going to be fully into teaching and giving my 100%, then I don't want to do it unless I'm able to give my 100%. And right now I feel like I'm in that area. So this is why I decided to create a course as well and give
Mm.
everybody kind of that just the further of the tips, because everybody always hits me up as well and they're like, four steps is
Yeah.
too hard, this and that. For some of those people who do want to learn more, or they do, or they're already dancers and they do need like more technical movement answers.
Right.
So that's why I decided to create that. And also in the course, it gives like health tips, it gives stretching, workout, like all that stuff.
Nice.
I basically talk about mental health, all those different things, and how these moves and building up to learning these moves like can help you. So
Yeah.
that's, again, it's step by step. And I've been teaching. I went to the UK recently in November
Oh, word.
last year, and I was out there judging and teaching some workshops and speaking and stuff. And I actually I do some private lessons with some students from over there still. So
Nice.
yeah, so it's just kind of like building that way. And then of course, always, as always, I've taught at different studios like around, Houston and things like that. And I'm currently doing that as well. So
Nice. Nice. And your online course, is that found through your website?
yeah, my online course, but it's at bboydojo.com
Oh,
slash
okay.
forward slash beast book. Yeah, so I partnered with the bboydojo.com. It's the B-Boy B-Girl Dojo. And basically, yeah, we worked on it for about 6 months. We came up with a bunch of ideas. And
Nice.
they have a lot of good courses on there, a lot of great dancers, a lot of breakers have made their course with them. And but a lot of those have been like high level courses where we decided for me to create one for beginners from
Mm.
scratch, or somebody who has no experience, for somebody who may not even want to use it for dancing. They just want to stretch it out and figure it out.
hmm
Uh, so I made a course like that for them. But it also can help dancers that are already dancing, because I break down a lot of moves that some people don't have yet. Some people may
Yeah.
have great head spins, no flares or something like that. And I'm teaching some of those moves, and I can help you build those things. So yeah, so that's basically how, it's broken down.
Awesome. That's tight. That's real dope. From, the B-Boy Dojo,
Mhm.
B-Boy B-Girl Dojo, Beast Boogie's on there. You got your master classes or courses, and from beginner to intermediate to legendary, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that's awesome. And definitely, I've been breaking for quite a while, and I definitely have to loop back to basics sometimes too. Because, I can't hit it like a normal chair nowadays. I got to get stretch it out and stuff like that. And so definitely getting some of
Trust
this
me, I
beginner
feel you.
stuff is valuable as well as the intermediate, all the cool immediate high level stuff. But sometimes you got to drop it, take a level down and get back to basics. So
Yeah.
yeah, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, you just got to adjust. That's it. It's all about adjusting. That's what breakers do too. Is we adapt. That's a big thing. It doesn't matter what you adapt to a dance floor. You adapt to music. You adapt to just that's what we do. So you as you get older and there's certain things you can't do, or there's certain or if you get injured or things like that, you just have to adapt and create what you can use. You know, and and
Yeah,
some people mentally that they can't take that and they might drop out and stuff. So again, it's balancing all that together. Um, yeah, it's really just balancing that, figuring it out. So and same thing with the work. Again, you can't just compete forever. You're not gonna always be a competitor. So what can you do with that? You can coach. You can.
yeah,
There's a million things again. But again, it's just figuring it out, and that's who really. It's again. It goes back to consistency is key. So
yes.
if you stay consistent with it, it'll show. It isn't the easiest road, I'll tell you that. No matter what, it doesn't matter what type of dancer you are. It's not the easiest road. It's not the easiest life. You really have to stay consistent with it and build a bunch of avenues of revenue and things like that for it to work. For the people and there's some people that do have regular side of dancing jobs and they balance it with dancing, and that's great too. So either you can find that balance, or if you want to live the dance life, you just have to know that you have to consistently do things. You have to consistently stay up with it. And once you find that niche and whatever it is, you have to stay consistent with that as well, because that's
Yeah.
basically what's going to lead you to the future, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's fire right there. So have you through your content or within breaking overall, throughout the years of 28 years, have you had any challenges or self-doubt within yourself, and how'd you overcome that type of situation?
Yeah. Well, in my early years, I had no self-doubt. It was all beast mode all the way, beast boogie all the way through. Energy, gave all my 100% in every show I ever did. I took every gig I could, went to every competition I could, took every class, that's everything. But what that led me to was some injuries over the years, especially like in my elbow
Okay.
and well, mostly my elbow. Is where it started. And so it started limiting me in moves that I couldn't do. And a lot of those moves were like battle moves for me. So that brings down your confidence in battles a lot real quick.
Mm,
Especially when some of your most important stuff or the stuff you like the most, you can't really do anymore. Again, this is adapting and adjusting. So that was my first fight, was that. And I just had to adjust, and I did it for a while and I was still doing okay. And then maybe like 2 years into that, I did something to my shoulder. And
uh,
that's overcompensation, because you adjust from this, but guess what? This is working harder. This is working harder. This is working harder because of the. So that's what, and so I had something here, and it really took me out. It really took me out of even what I had left. So if I went from 100% to 70% because my elbow, well, the shoulder took me all the way down to like 10%. You know what I mean? For a while,
mhm.
first injured. So and it's a lot. It takes you down in confidence. It takes you down in a lot of those different things, because you're so used to being able just to do it whenever, wherever, however, and turning it on like that. And so you let it heal. As always, you got to let it heal, and you work around it. And that's what I've done. And now I'm back to a place where I'm able to do a bunch of, I mean, I could compete if I want to and things like that. But now you just got to learn how to space it out. You got to learn how to pick and choose. You got to learn how to preserve what you have left in your time, and things like that. On top of obviously staying fit, eating right, staying mentally
Mm,
healthy,
yeah.
all those things.
Yeah, this all factor into your ability to
Mm-hmm.
stay healthy and fit, or be able to keep doing this long term.
Yep, for
For
sure.
sure. Nice. Cool, man. I did have a question about you said consistently, even with the break, even social media. So do you try to post once a day or once a week?
Yeah, I try to do once a day. At least on Instagram and Facebook, because those are my two most consistent, and where like my reach is the biggest. Even though I have 1 million followers on TikTok, sometimes the algorithm is not your friend, so you just have to stay
Right.
consistent with it. And I have not stayed consistent with it on there. But when I do post, they do well. It's just, again, it's hard to keep up with 3, 4, 5 a day, because then there's YouTube as well. And yeah, and so again, I've kind of just juggled back with YouTube and TikTok, where I really post mostly on Facebook and Instagram every day. But because a lot of my work comes from Facebook and Instagram, so I'm gonna give that the most attention.
Right. Okay.
As to before, like, when TikTok around the pandemic time and all that, there were, I get paid from all platforms, but they were giving out a good amount then. So everybody was focusing on that one, and when that, amount changes, or when the different programs you're in change, because a lot of them are just like programs you're in for maybe like 6 months to a year. And then once that program's up, you don't get that anymore. It's something else, So
Okay.
that's how that works, like the creator funds and the creator programs and all that. It's not just, sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's okay, and so you focus on the ones that are really good, rather than and then just kind of give a little bit to the ones that are okay. And so
Okay.
uh
Okay. Makes sense.
yeah, so man, I could teach a whole thing on social media. So
You
which
kind
that's
of.
another thing I've been thinking about doing too, some tutorials to specifically to dancers on branding and social media,
Hmm.
and then videos and tips and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I think that's a very, very valuable asset for anybody, not just dancers, but individual, right?
promotions, really
Yeah,
free website pretty much for you.
yeah,
Maybe
and
do
branding
it.
yourself and get the exposure, that you would want to pursue.
Yep, yep.
That's dope. That's dope. Do you have any inspirations? Like, how do you keep doing this? Like, I'm not sure how old you are, but you've been doing it for 28 years, right? And so what fires you to keep moving to this and the culture, the love of
Yeah.
it? Like, what fuels you up, man?
Well, I just turned 40 in March, so
Okay.
yeah. But no, I mean, there's a lot that inspires me. One, it's just seeing the growth of it. Again, it's like, like when you see a child grow, I have a son,
Uh-huh.
he's 11, so I've seen him grow to what
Okay.
he is today, right? And so that's very motivational. But seeing anything grow, whether it's a business or a whole entire culture of breaking, grow from what it was when I started till now, it's hard not to be a fan of it. It's hard not to want to be around and stuff. So that is one big motivation, is always seeing the growth in it and all the new things. And now it's going to be in the Olympics.
Mm,
That's so I mean,
yeah.
like it's hard not to stay in the scene and be motivated by it. But on another tip is the inspiration that you give to people. Because again, with me doing everything on social media and then all these tutorials and now even making a course, like I get a lot of feedback from people, and those messages really do help a lot. It doesn't matter where it's
Nice.
from, who it's from. A nice message reassures you that what you're doing is, whether it's one message, is 10 messages, or 100, somebody out there saw what you were doing and is appreciative of it. And that's always a booster. And then of course, I have a son. My son lives with me full time. It's just me and him here. And so, I'm also a full-time dad as well while I'm doing all this. And the thing is
Yeah.
it's given me, breaking, dancing in general, hip hop, whatever you want to say. It's given me the freedom to be available, and have a schedule that I pretty much make on my own. And I'm able to do and travel and do all those things whenever I want to. So it's also given me that.
Nice.
Like, that's another big thing. Like, you may be taking on this hard journey, where it's not easy, but there's a lot of benefit to it. There's a lot of benefit to it, and that's one of them, that the freedom that I have to be able to pretty much do what I want. And that gives me freedom to give time to my son and stuff like that. So yeah, so there's
Nice.
a lot of things too. There's a lot of motivation to it. And obviously I've been doing it for 28 years. It's hard. I mean, like at this point in my life, like
Right.
I told you, I just turned 40. So at this point in my life, it would almost doesn't make sense just to stop, like, or to even like be involved in any way, because it's been my life pretty much. And then it doesn't mean you can't start other things. That's the great thing that I've learned too about dancing, is that when I do other things now, I appreciate that thing a lot, and it makes me appreciate dancing even more. So always find another hobby too. Find something out there that inspires you. Find something that you, especially anything that has to do with physical fitness, that's going to help you in multiple ways, anything. And I guarantee you it's going to make you appreciate dancing more, and you'll appreciate that other thing that you're learning. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's nasty. You mentioned a few things like the things you're learning, right? You apply some of the knowledge you learn within dance or hip hop, right? And so
Yeah.
I take a lot of it, like I got my wristlet license last year, and I take a lot of the fundamentals of breaking that I learned. Hey, keep the basics before you advance. Learn the basics and move those fundamentals step by step. And even like competitions, build my self-doubt, confidence to get out there, right? And so I was like, okay. So I apply a lot of this to just general life that, it's necessary that, like, oh yeah, I've done this in breaking. What's the basics? Let's do it. Yeah, heck yeah. And there's something you mentioned. I had it in my head. I lost it. So hopefully it comes back. Yeah.
I know I throw a lot out there, but that's the thing too. Like when you have a lot of knowledge, you want to give a lot of that too. So, I do it through my dancing, but I definitely need to speak more too, and just talk about like all these things. We haven't even went through any experiences that I ever had with some of these dancings, or just a
Yeah.
specific competition, or there's lots and lots out there. So, but yeah,
Right. Yeah, definitely could be many hours of
yeah,
discussion, talking about, your storytelling through it because you've been through a lot. 28 years breaking it down in a small lump. That's a lot. So pieces
for
by
sure.
pieces, well, for sure. So, oh yeah, talking about content or overall, inspiration. You said someone that appreciates your videos or someone's seen it, right? And like you never know, like maybe that helps somebody down the road. Like, hey, I saw this guy just breaking. I love it. I want to start doing this. So you don't really know through content like who you really inspired, but
Yeah,
the fact that yeah, you got 20 something million people seen it, it's like, yo, somebody, is out there that appreciated and got inspired. Maybe they started breaking because of that, that one
yeah.
video. So that's real dope that you're doing it through content and building upon, workshops or online courses and stuff like that. So that's real dope, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a blessing. It's definitely hard work though. A lot of sacrifice too. You got to look at your phone a lot. You got to look at your computer a lot. I mean, and anybody who's already doing anything like that, whether it's graphic design or music editing or video editing, they already know what I'm talking about. Is look, you're always on your computer, always on your phone. So that becomes a whole lifestyle too that you have to adjust to around other people and family and stuff, when you have to check your phone because it's part of your job and things like that. So lots of things, man, lots of things. Like, again, this is what I'm talking about. There's avenues, there's so many avenues, so many ways, and you just gotta find it. Just gotta find it. Stay consistent.
Dope. Dang, that's sick. And being a role model, not
Mhm.
just preaching things you say, but doing it too. And I see that you're doing all that and
For sure.
still keeping consistent with it. And, the one question I wanted to ask is, how'd you get Beast Boogie? How did you get your name Beast Boogie?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I had a couple friends that they just always would call me like a beast, like for random things that I would do. Whether it was like yell or break something, or not in a funny way though, like if we
Okay.
saw like a piece of drywall, I'd go kick it or something, like just something funny. So they're always like, man, you're a beast, man, you're a beast. Actually, my friend, his name is Jesse Germ. He was from Vicious Germs crew. He's in MZK now. But he's the one
Okay.
that started calling me Beast mostly, and so it kind of caught on. I was looking for a name anyways, and then so I was Beast for a long time, but people were calling me the Beast, and I didn't like that. And on top of
Mm,
that, so many other beasts. There was Beast Mode was out there.
mm.
There was one more. I can't think of what his other name. It was Beast something. There was, so I was like, okay, let me add something to the name. Plus, I had started teaching, so I just wanted a softer name, and so I added Boogie to it, and then Beast Boogie just stuck. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome, man. That's so tight. That's so tight.
So when people ask, I say it's because I'm a beast at everything, and I like to boogie. So,
There you go. That's what I was just thinking in my head too. You go beast on stuff you do, but you get down and boogie it out.
sure,
That's
for
dope.
sure.
Oh man, that's sick. So I'm gonna wrap it up here shortly. Do you have any questions for me at all?
Just what's your goal? What's your goal with
Yeah.
all? What are you trying to build? What are you trying to accomplish? Because again, Like
So,
I said, it's trying to find a niche. Have you found that, or are you still looking for it? Like, what's
you
going on?
know, there's a lot of avenues I want to definitely tap into or dabble into, right? And so, definitely through content, I definitely want to get back in the scene through content. I definitely want to explore people's mindsets like yours. People are doing things out there, like, you know, what's their mindset doing this stuff? Because I wasn't exposed to this as a younger age when I got into breaking. I've been dancing for about 18 years now, right? And so, some of the stuff that I wish I learned sooner to kind of help structure myself into ability to go out even harder or learn different things where I can adjust and get better at different things, right? And so I wish I got exposed to that sooner, you know, but you know, I'm happy where I'm at today because a lot of growth is coming as I'm aging, right? A lot of things. But if a younger cat or someone that's younger that able to tap into this, listen to this podcast or other
Yeah,
inspiration people that's been in the scene that can motivate them to get to this level or this level because it's more than just the physical movements as well. I think it's a lot of mindset, and so I
yeah,
think that's as I'm growing and aging and stuff, it's the mindset, the knowledge, there is a lot of the key to getting out there, just knowing what people's done that's been out there already done things, and so that's really some things I explore. There's more to it. I definitely built a name called CypherBeastTV, which I thought about like 2011, right? I just
yeah,
never created anything. I think at that time, within 10 years from until like now, was kind of like off and on. I got 3 kids, by the way. And so just exploring life, and I was like, you know, I was throwing jams during that time from like 3, 4 years all the way to like 2013, 14. I was throwing jams. And then I kind of just stopped because I got kids and I grew some weight and I lost a lot of weight. I went to a silver back in 2008 and I was like, dude, this was sick out in Philly, right? And like, I gotta get back into it. And so ever since I kind of got more active, a little bit here and there. I was going through competing and stuff. And COVID happened. And and I was just like, oh man, stuff happened. And then, I was like, I get back into it. I just love the scene, going to competitions, local competitions, seeing people are still doing it and stuff, and just motivates me. I'm like, yeah, I love the scene, and through content, I just want to explore other people that are doing things such as you down and more traveling, what other scenes are doing. And I definitely want to create something bigger than myself, but it definitely takes a lot of achievements, a lot of daily activities to get to there. And I think a lot of it right now, definitely podcast is great, definitely a niche, right, as well.
yeah,
And so, the thing I would do with this through this, I would create the long form video, which is the podcast, and kind of chop up to short form videos, and hopefully those short form videos will go to the long people will watch the podcast, right?
yeah,
But chop up the nuggets or the golden, yeah,
yeah,
some of
yeah.
that
No,
stuff.
exactly what you're
So
talking about.
that's my
Yeah,
niche right now. I definitely thought about doing a lot of like filming videos and people kind of like what Stance is doing, kind of other people meeting medias are doing that, but I see so many people already doing that, so I was like, let me try something else and see how it goes, right? And so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing it since I just started this podcast September of last year, or
yeah,
6 months ago, right? And so definitely a lot of doors I felt like has opened a lot of people that communicate down the road that I never thought I would speak to, such as you, Beast Boogie. I talked to Cross One, just other people down the road. I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. I never expect to ever talk to him. I see him
yeah,
like guys at
for
jams or
sure.
stuff like that. I'll say what's up, but like actual conversation, this is tight. This is real dope. And there's a lot of ideas in my head that's down the road. It just takes those movements to get there. And so definitely I see this a lot bigger than I can be, but I'm kind of selective of who I want to be in the scene with me doing this because it's almost to a sense it's like, hey, I want to if I'm gonna recruit somebody and doing stuff and help me out in this, I want to make sure the mindset, the value of it, and hopefully we can do it together. So that's
Yeah,
just down the road, right? And so far through this content and right now, and so there's a lot more down the road. So that's awesome you asked me that because there's a lot of people that have not asked me, and I was like, dude, you can ask me questions too during this. It's not just you, so that's
yeah,
tight that you did.
yeah, for
Um,
sure, man. Yeah, but no, I enjoyed it. I enjoy you bringing me on, and hope all the best for you. Just like I said, stay consistent. That's the best way to grow. And there's a big year coming up. So it's still we're not even halfway through the year, but the rest of the year is definitely going to be crazy. So
Oh
uh,
yeah, with the October Olympics is coming up, I think it's gonna
yeah,
a lot more people are gonna that audience wise, people
Oh
that
yeah.
have been out of the scene or they didn't even know breaking is still alive, right? They're gonna be like, oh, well, this is. They're gonna feel
Exactly.
like they're gonna appreciate it more because it's on the Olympic side and
Yeah,
more
for sure.
viewership. Before we end the show, I like to do what's a cipher round. You ready for it? So it's pretty simple. I'm gonna hit you up with like 5 questions and whatever you can think of on top of your mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's hit it with the cipher. So what's your favorite breakdance move?
Flares.
Flares? Oh, sick, sick. That's mine too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or backspins. Backspin was the very first move I learned, but flares is the thing I've probably done the most in my life.
Okay.
Probably done like a million flares in my life for sure.
Nice, nice. Do you have a favorite song or artist? My favorite is Linkin Park. I love Linkin Park. I love their music, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so many.
I know
There's
it's very broad,
uh
right?
I mean, if you're talking about dancing, I mean, so many James Brown, Michael Jackson,
There you go. Yeah.
Prince. I mean, yeah, like I like old stuff for sure.
Okay, we'll leave it
Yeah,
at that. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
absolutely not.
Yeah, that's a love hate
It's not
question,
that I
right?
can't eat it or that I won't eat it, but if you give me the question, I'm gonna say no, no.
Yeah, if you had you won't order it.
I wouldn't order it.
Okay. Okay. Is there a book, a current book you're reading, or is there a favorite book, audio book or anything?
Yes. Hold on. It might be
Okay.
right. Grab it real quick.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It is actually upstairs, but I have
Okay.
it. This one is super dope. But this one, Think Like a Warrior.
Oh, Think Like a Warrior. Okay. So
Yeah, and it's a
Darren
series.
Donnelly.
There's three of them, and this is the first one to it, and it's really dope.
Nice.
What was the other one? I think it's I can't think of the name right now. I'm tripping. It's the Kobe Bryant book. I
Ooh.
just read it too recently. It's literally upstairs, but yeah, it's by Tim Grover. I know that, and
Okay.
it's basically he highlights like how he trained Kobe Bryant and pretty much.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's called Unstoppable. It may be called Unstoppable.
Okay.
But yeah, that those are my favorite books right now.
Nice, nice. I haven't read either of those, so I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
straight mindset books. It's just gonna give you the tools you need to is for your mindset to build.
that's fire.
Yeah.
Nice. Last question. If you had a competition or 2 versus 2 and you can have anybody as your partner, do you know who would that be?
Oh, that's a tough question. That's a tough question.
Yes.
If I had to pick one person, like you mean somebody that I've danced with before, right?
Literally anybody. Anybody.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, there's people that gone, people that are closest to, people that are like, oh yeah, I always wanted to enter with this guy, other
Yeah,
people like role models or mentors or whoever. I guess it's a very broad question as well, but
that sure is. That's man, I had a good run when I was in Vicious Germs crew. I had a good run with my front with my crew member. His name was Enemy. People won't. I don't know if people will remember him now, but if you ever look up Vicious Germs, and he was the shorter guy in our crew, but he would kill it. And we had like 2 years where we were like winning everything we went to. But
Oh,
then
nice.
also with Habikoro, my boy Palmer, we have entered so many jams together, and we've
Uh-huh.
won probably like 75% of them, if not made it very far, like to the finals or something. We had a good run, a good chemistry, a good build, and so it would be one of those two for sure.
Nice.
I always stick to the people close to me rather than there are people that
Yeah, right.
wish I dance with or something like that, but if I had to choose like that, it's always going to be someone close to me for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dope, man. Dope. This is sick. So, if people want to get in touch with you, how can we find you?
Yeah, so obviously you can go to any of my social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, anything, just X or whatever. Just type in Beast Boogie, literally Beast Boogie. I'm at Beast Boogie on all of them. Or you can go to my website, beastboogie.com. And that has a lot of my history, a lot of just my resume from the past, from performances, competing, and all those things. And then, yeah, so those are the main two places you can find me. My
No.
website on any of the social media platforms, hit me up.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll link all those in the description below, as well as your master shop, your workshops and stuff like that, definitely.
Yeah,
send me a link to that.
bboydojo.com/just beast, not beast boogie. bboydojo.com/beast.
Okay, sick. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it all in the show notes for sure. Beast Boogie, and I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Do you have any last words or takeaways for me or for the viewers?
For you, just stay consistent. Like a lot of the things you've already heard, stay consistent and build your stuff. For everybody else, just stay positive. You're gonna go through ups and downs, and no matter what, it's there's gonna be good times, bad times, hard times. The key to everything is staying consistent, staying positive, and just continue to build. And there's always an answer. There's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way.
Ah, dope. That's sick. Beast Boogie. Hey, thank you for being on the show. If you guys like this, shoot a follow, subscribe. I'll catch you guys. Do you have any last words or takeaways?
Support breaking businesses, not just brands and businesses. Create your own, invest in some if you can, get a chance. You know, find people out there who are passionate about something. See if you can work with them and invest into their ideas, especially if they're the ones doing your work, so you don't have to. And if not, investing, make it yourself. You don't understand how much you're really going to build the culture if you do that, right? Like you're really investing back into the culture and creating